Hello, 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 hello. And we are live. So weird. I always have a delay here. I don't know why, but I am so excited to be with you guys today. Welcome, 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 powerful souls. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Laurie Micah. I am the host of the Laurie Micah YouTube channel where I primarily interview people who've had near death experiences, but we also interview people who are channelers, have had astral travel, shared death experiences, mediums, like consciousness experts, you name it. If it's spiritual, I want to talk to you. So, one of the differences that I try to create in my channel is that I love to go deep. I really like to try and ask people questions that they've never been asked before. And the reason is because when somebody's had an experience, it usually profoundly changes their lives. And then they have to spend a lot of time trying to integrate that experience. And so they accumulate a lot of wisdom and they're holding what I call gold nuggets. And if I can ask them the deep enough question, then I can find their gold nuggets and I can throw it to you guys where you can extrapolate the information to use in whatever way makes your life better. So thank you for taking the time to be here with me today. I'm at my log cabin in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and it's raining, so it's a perfect time to be on live with you guys. And I want to hear from you. This show is about you. So I want to make sure, first of all, I'm going to check in the comments. Is my audio good? If it is, please give me a thumbs up, a hearts, a something, so that I know that I'm registering. Okay, fantastic. We have a thunderstorm going on here, and sometimes, even though I have fiber internet, which is insane because I live near a town of like 1,200 people, I cannot believe I have fiber out here. But electricity goes out sometimes, and I was a little bit nervous that might happen tonight. But again, everything happens exactly how it's supposed to. So we are here tonight. So if you have questions, if you have comments about some of the interviews, if you want clarifications, if you want to ask anything, you want to interact with each other, go for it. This is a community that we are building so that you have a safe place to share your experiences and to ask questions. So happy to answer anything. As always, while I'm waiting for the comments to get heated up a little bit and see what's on your mind tonight, I am going to share a really, really, really cool synchronicity that happened, a sign from my passed away loved one that happened yesterday. So I was on a very long hike, and a lot of times when I'm hiking, I will just say a certain mantra over and over again so that my mind doesn't wander. So I just stay focused in the present moment and in nature. And I had stopped doing that because I had gotten to this kind of a crossroads place. And when I got there, I suddenly had a thought about my passed away loved one, Mark. And it was a thought about a time that we had at the very end of our relationship. And I was thinking about the difficulties and the things that he didn't understand about my situation at the time because he wasn't living my situation. And I immediately took myself to a place where I realized, as soon as he died, he had a life review, right? So we talk about life reviews a lot. It's actually the primary reason I started interviewing people who have had near death experiences because I think the life reviews are so profound. So, what I believe is that when we die, when each and every one of us dies, we have a review of our life. And it's not just like where people say your life just flashes before you. I think it's quite a bit more detailed than that. I believe that you have experiences that you came here, that you wanted to engage with certain people, be in certain situations, and just have these experiences that we can only have in a human body incarnated on this planet. And as such, we review at the end of our life several things. I think we review how often in situations we showed up in love. I think we review if we were able to get to the place where we could have the experiences that we had on this list that we wanted to accomplish. Maybe if some of us have a different type of a purpose in our lives, we probably evaluate that and we look and examine all of our interactions with others because every interaction, no matter how small, has an impact on somebody. That is why when we're out in the world, we can either flip somebody off when we're driving and make them upset so that they go to work and maybe have a bad day and get mad at other people, or we can smile. We can actually engage with somebody and say, how's your day going for you? And really mean it, not just flippantly, oh, how are you? Okay, I'm great. But really ask them, how's your day going? And I think when people feel that, it makes them feel a certain way. And we don't do it because we're trying to elevate ourselves. We do it because we genuinely care about somebody and we want to express love to others, which I think is the highest state of being that we can be in, because on the other side, we are in a state of being of love. Here we get to experience it. So, anyway, Mark, I believe, as soon as he died, just like all of your loved ones who are on the other side, had a life review. And in that life review, they would have experienced every single moment of their life from their perspective. But then they would become the other person. So in Mark's life review, he would become me. He would know exactly what all of my emotions were, whether I said them or not. He would know all of the experiences that I had had throughout my entire life that made me react certain ways. And he now has an understanding of me, of who I really am, just like your loved ones have an understanding of you on a level they never could have had in the human body. They also view this from their higher self perspective, their soul, higher soul perspective. And so it's a very detached. I think the people that beat themselves up are the people who come back and have to have a body and be an ego. On the other side, I don't think we beat ourselves up as much. I think we just have this greater understanding and less judgment and more empathy and kindness towards ourselves and how we responded, because we see everything. We see chemical mediators that were running through our body, maybe because of the diet we had or because of illnesses that were going on or whatever it was. Maybe Mercury was in retrograde, right? Anyway, so as I was having this thought about Mark, I thought to myself, wow, you now know me better than you ever could. And you now understand some of these situations that still, when I think about them, they bother me a little bit because they weren't necessarily positive. And I said, I kind of feel like you owe me. And if you're hearing me right now, and we're in this conversation together because there is no time, there is really no space. When I get in my car to drive home from my hike, I want to hear a song, and I want to hear a meaningful song, like a song that connects me to you, where I can't just push it off as a coincidence. And I really think I deserve to have that. And so I let the thought go, and that was it. And then I went back to my mantra because I was like, I got to get out of these thoughts. And I went back onto my mantra and I continued hiking, and then I hiked back, and I was on a super long hike. And when I got to my car, I had actually completely forgotten about the whole thing. It's not like I'm getting in my car ready to turn on the radio and see what's going on. I wasn't thinking about this at all. And I listen to XM radio and I switch the channels all the time. And when I'm here at the cabin, I often listen to a new Eagles channel, which is super fun, called Hotel California, channel 105, where the Eagles play all these songs. Or I listen to John Mayer because I love that he plays this massive variety of songs. You could hear a song from the 60s all the way until the present time. So you never know what you're going to get on his channel. So I turn on the radio, or turn on the car, and he actually started talking. He talks in between his songs. And this is what he said. I actually wrote it down because I wanted to share it with you because it was so profound and so close to what I had asked for. He said, here's what I love about this channel. I know I'm listening. I know you're listening. You know other people are listening. In this way, it's like a psychic link up. We spend so much time alone doing what only we are doing. And I think that's a pretty good feeling. So let's keep that feeling going. And then hold the line played. If you have ever participated in these lives and you know anything about my story with Mark, Hold the Line was a song that he played over and over again because the last time I saw him alive, he did a concert with Starship where they played 4 Toto songs, and that was one of them. And over the course of time from 20 19, for 4 years, I recorded 99 times that he froze my radio. That song played and then went back to the regular programming on a station, by the way, that didn't play that song at all until maybe 2 years ago. And then as soon as it happened, I never got it again. The radio never froze. It never happened again. So that is what I want to share with you, because I know a lot of us are longing to connect with our passed away loved ones. And that's how signs can work for me. I didn't demand it. I asked it. I actually expected it, but then I forgot about it. So what a surprise to get in my car and have John Mayer mention a psychic link up between people. Like, who talks like that, right? Except for on this channel. And then to get that special message from Mark. So that was my massive sign synchronicity that happened yesterday that I wanted to share. And now I'm going to check in the comments, and I would love to hear from you guys. So let's see what's going on today. So welcome everybody. If you have questions, I love it. Greetings, Earthlings. That's awesome. Hi from Albuquerque. Oh, Scott, I didn't remember that you were in Albuquerque. That was where my car had an engine light issue, and I had to stop at the dealership there to have it looked at. I wish I had known you were there. Hi, Catherine. Everybody is saying hello to everybody. Oh, it is so lovely here. It's all greened up now. We have these ferns that come up, and all of a sudden in the last week, they're all over, and they just make everything so green and pretty. I love it up here. But mosquitoes are ferocious. They are next level here. And oh my gosh, I have to bathe in DEET. Don't judge me. Um, oh, um, Allie says she's in Abilene, Kansas. We're heading inside. I grew up in Kansas. For those of you who don't know, I junior high, high school, and college in Lawrence, Kansas. So I am a Kansas girl for sure. Hi, Donna. Oh yeah, you're on your drive home. Okay, Scott. Good evening. Oh, hi. My dog breeder, Blaze's breeder, Tom, is on. He is classic gun dogs. And he says, all good here at the Short Hair Ranch. I don't know if you guys can see Blaze, but she is, Blaze, come here, come here. There she is. She just popped her head up. Can you see her? There she is, right there. Come here. See, come here. Say hi to everybody. Come on up. Here we go. There she is. She's so cute. What a good girl. Always around. We hiked right before it rained on us. So, all right, what do you guys want to hear from? What do you want to talk about today? What questions are on your mind that you would love for me to speak to? Oh, wow. Oh, we've got somebody from Australia. Good morning. Catherine said, I just had a thought. Maybe you will meet the young man whose life you changed when we went to fill up your propane at the end of last summer. Oh, wow. That's so crazy. How did you even remember that? Did we do an interview like when that happened? Oh my gosh. Okay. So I'll tell this story because this was super cool. And I didn't tell this on a live or anything because this happened last summer. All right. So I have propane here. I don't have heat. I have propane tank. I have a fireplace back there. And I have these 2 propane tanks. And at the end of the summer, I always fill them up because I don't want to come back to half empty tanks. So normally I would go to this one place over and over again, but they closed too early and I didn't have enough time. It was too far away. So I went into town. And the first place I went to was like this Holiday gas station. And the guy came out and he said that because he couldn't find how many pounds my container held, which by the way, it's 100-pound, which I told him because they come in very specific sizes. He's like, it doesn't say it on a label. I can't fill it. I'm not allowed to. So I was like, oh my gosh. And it was the day before I was leaving my cabin. So I have to winterize and all these things to do. Just like I had to take the garbage to the dump, in my trailer and all this stuff. So I'm freaking out. And then he says, I think that they fill propane tanks at Tractor Supply, which was right across the street. I can't believe that my town of 1,200 people is big enough that has a Tractor Supply, but it does. So I go over there and the guy's like, I'll be right out. And so we were just talking and just, it takes a long time to fill up the propane tank. And so he actually said something where he made a comment about his grandmother. And I asked him where his grandmother lived. And he said, "Oh, I just lost her. She just died. And I'm really having a hard time." And so it was the beautiful opportunity to have this amazing conversation about what I believe happens when somebody dies. And I told him about the life review and how she's, she can hear all his thoughts, how she's always with him. It's just all the things that we talk about what happens when somebody dies. And he actually got tears in his eyes and told me that it changes everything for him. He just needed that. He was wanting to connect with her. He was feeling so bad about losing her. And I believe that things happen for a reason. So again, like, I start to get upset some things around sometimes around time. You might have noticed I'm kind of a type A personality. I always have a ton of things going. Like, I work a full-time corporate job. I publish videos 7 days a week, which I know is crazy. I hike every day, do all these projects. Like, I have more energy than I have time. And I always push the envelope with my time. So that day when things were going terribly wrong and I had run out of time to go where I normally went, and then the guy couldn't help me, I started kind of downward spiraling. But before I did all the way, I said, "I'm right where I'm supposed to be. I'm right where I'm supposed to be." It's kind of my mantra. And then that happened. Again, the universe reminding us that we are definitely in places for certain reasons at certain times. And I think signs and synchronicities, which I spoke about earlier, are a reminder for us that things are in a perfect timing. If I had hurried on that walk, if I had ran instead of walked, if I had started 5 minutes earlier, 5 minutes later, that sign wouldn't have lined up at the perfect timing it did for me to end the hike. Like, I had to do everything I did. Like, I had to stop and pick up the sticks that were in the path because people ride their bike on the path, and I don't want people to have to run over big sticks or branches, that kind of fall down. So, like, everything happens how it's supposed to, and things are unfolding rather perfectly, I think, even when we think they're not. So, anyway, okay. Thank you, Catherine, for reminding me of that. Is that what happened? Did we wind up having? I think we won. We must have. We must have. Okay. Hi, Juan. Hello. Okay, Lori, the description that Tim gave of source, it was kind of confusing. I understood of it, some of it, but not all. All right. So here's what I'm going to say about that. I did that interview before I left my cabin. So I probably interviewed Tim like in April, and it's now June. I don't remember the specifics. And even though I edit it, I'm more focused in the intro and the outro and, you know, putting together the intro from different parts. So I don't remember his description of source. But if you want me to, I will. You let me know. I mean, if you maybe have heard my perspective enough that you don't need to hear it again. But if you want me to describe source the way that I've experienced it, I'm happy to do that. Just put it in the comments if that's something that you want. I'm just guessing that you're asking for clarification on something that he said. I wish that I remembered exactly what he said. I don't. I'm so sorry, but I will go look at it again. And if you want me to address it in the next live next week, I'm happy to do that. Okay. So Catherine said, I can sometimes have a really good memory when it's something I want to recall. And it was when you were heading back. Yeah. Oh, before our interview. Oh, interesting. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that reminder. I love that you brought that up. That was such a special story. And I think that there are several good lessons in that, the least of which, of course, is not that we are in unfolding perfectly. Everything's in perfect timing. So even when we feel like, oh, I shouldn't be here right now, I should be XYZ, maybe there's a reason that we're here and not where we think we should be, because maybe we're avoiding getting hit by a deer, or a number of things happening, right? Things that would be negative. And so there's definitely guardian angels, I think, that watch out for us. There are spirit guides that I think help us along our path, maybe slow us down, maybe distract us. Who knows? Okay. Donna said, I love Tim, but sometimes I got really confused, but love the ending line for sure. Okay. Oh, interesting. I have been super busy. I'm doing a bunch of analysis on my videos. I was up until like 1:30 in the morning doing this. I made a whole Excel spreadsheet on it because I'm trying to understand why sometimes videos, people who I've interviewed, the videos didn't take off, maybe because my channel was smaller at the time I did them. And I'm thinking about taking some really, really good videos that I know have had massive reaches on other channels. And I'm thinking about re releasing them this summer, which will take a little bit of burden off of me because I only have so many interviews to edit over the summer. And so I'm only doing interviews until the end of July. And then I'm taking the entire month of August off. Hopefully, I will not edit or interview because I just need a break. And I want to just blueberry pick and kayak and hike. But anyway, so yeah. Um, I I don't know why sometimes comments will be very consistent, but I also feel like sometimes comments build on each other. Like sometimes when somebody points one thing out, I'll see a whole bunch of other people pile on to that idea, where other times, might be the same in another video and other people don't. So I don't know. I'll have to look at it again. Um, Catherine said, I have goosebumps again. um, Helen says, hi from Alberta. Hi from Alberta. I too heard on the weekend from both my deceased parents. Oh, how wonderful. Through a woman who was staying at our bed and breakfast. How cool. What's your bed and breakfast? I'm so curious about that. Definitely put it in here for everybody to see. Maybe we can check it out. Um, that's really cool. You did not ask for it or expect it. I think that those are sometimes the best surprises when we're not expecting them. We didn't ask something for something. Okay, Mikey says, hi, Laurie. After all your research, what would you say experiencers regret the most and the least? Hmm. What do experiencers regret the most? I think at least from the assessment and not just people who I've talked to, but also from all of the interviews that I have watched and read and listened to over many, many years, I think people regret that they didn't spend enough time with people that they love and say the things that they should have said when somebody was alive, or maybe forgiven something when they could have. And I think that people also very often talk about how they knew that they could have done things differently. So that's part of why I think people come back so changed after a life review, and they change a lot of things in their lives. So we really can't control a lot of things that happen to us or for us, right? But we can certainly control how we react to them. And I think that comes with age and experience and wisdom and just navigating life and understanding that a lot of times with hindsight, things that we didn't understand, we understand differently through time. So that would be the thing I think that people probably most regret and the least regret. Like, I don't think anybody ever regrets the time that they spent with other people. And I think that people are often shown that the material possessions, the accolades that they really sought after when they were in this lifetime are often completely ignored in a life review, not important, glossed over, not highlighted, not examined in a way that they bring back, which is so interesting. I mean, I guess think about if you've got a career and you maybe wanted to be a vice president or in the C suite, like a CEO or a CFO or whatever it is. And you spend your whole career like building for that. And then you get it and you're like, whoa, yay, I made it. I don't think anybody have ever heard anybody talk about anything related to a job or an award that they got or anything of that sort in a life review. It's always examining very mundane things, almost obscure things. It's the story that I tell about the boy who had a life review when he had a near death experience. And they showed him an experience he really barely remembered when he was 7 years old. His family had stopped at a rest area, and he and his sister were given a bucket, and they had to go get water, and they had to walk quite a ways to get water. So this had to have been a long time ago. And when he was coming back, he realized he had filled the water bucket too high, and it was becoming very heavy as he was walking. He needed to dump some of it out. But instead of just dumping it out arbitrarily on the ground, he looked around and he noticed a small sapling that he felt like it needed a little bit of extra water. So he walked out of his way, dumped a little bit of water on that tree sapling, and then went on with his life. In his life review, he was shown that that was one of the most important acts that he had performed in his entire life, because something like that is done with complete unconditional love. Like, he didn't have to do that. He was 7, like, you're barely aware at 7. And he was consciously awake enough to think of something else instead of just doing what would have been so natural and normal for people to just dump some water out. So I think it's those things that we probably forget, random acts of kindness, the times when we were in service to others that we probably value the most in our life review, and that seem to be highlighted for people who come back. I don't necessarily think that when you die and have a full life review that I think everything is highlighted, everything is examined, every moment is examined. But I guess if you are trying to get a message back to the collective, what do you do in somebody's life review? You highlight the things that you want everybody to be aware of. You highlight the things that you want people to maybe pay a little bit more attention to, and you let them come back with that. So I think there's some of that that happens in the life experiences for sure. Okay. Catherine said, "You're so welcome. It just came to me. I felt like it needed to come out." I love that. Hashtag goals. Um, Your answer to the Mikey Lemon Tree's question is exactly what I feel in my experience. So Catherine had a near-death experience. If you guys haven't checked out her interview, Catherine's, I think, oh gosh, it's more than a year ago now that it was released. So exactly what all of that, most regret and a feeling. Powerful. Oh, I'm glad you thought so. Thank you. Least regret using gifts to make things for people. Oh, yeah. Oh, I love that idea. Like, whenever we can give something that is from the heart, I mean, I guess I think, like, as a mom, when it's Mother's Day, I wasn't ever looking for an expensive bottle of perfume or a special meal at a restaurant. Like, what did I cherish the most? When my kids did things for me, when my kids made a homemade card that they actually took the time to think about and plan out and create for me. Like, those, if you look in my house in Arizona, you will see several things that both of my kids made when they were younger that sit around in my house and hold like a very special place in my house. My daughter was in, I think, junior high, and she made this statue, and she doesn't particularly like it, but it's one of my most prized possessions. And actually, I want to show you guys something. I want to show you my most prized possession in this cabin besides Blaze. She's number one. But hold on.